Okay, right. And we are live. Okie dokie. So, hello guys, welcome back to Staying Connected. Um, and yes, it's a Monday today, so that means that it would usually be hat day, but I'm not wearing a hat, unfortunately. But that means we have a special guest. So, I am joined today by one of our learners. That's Christian.
Hi.
So, Christian, usually when we do these, whenever we've got a guest, we'll get the guest to like introduce themselves, and they'll just kind of tell us, who they are and a little bit about themselves, like what they've done with us. So Christian, if you'd like to just introduce yourself.
All right. Well, I'm Christian. I found Media Savvy through, I can't remember exactly. It was something like I had help through the job centre, and then like I had to sort out with dyslexia. And then I was given word. I think it was Charlotte. I can't remember.
Yeah,
But I was given word by her, and then I eventually attended one of the drop-ins. And ever since, I've really enjoyed like editing. It's been one of my favorite hobbies recently that I've like gone into. So that's about it, really. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. I'm quite tired, so
it's all right, man. That's a pretty good answer, I think. And so, how did you find it at the Tesco sessions at first? So you obviously knew Charlotte, who's someone who comes to a lot of the
yeah.
sessions, and she's actually done the Monday episode with us as well. So yeah, so you came to that, and then it was me and you at first, right? And I think did we get straight into video editing, or did we do
I
Photoshop
think
first?
no, we did video editing because we got straight into it because that was what I enjoyed more.
Yeah,
Um, Still with the Photoshop and like obviously I'm doing some lessons with Lisa. It's still a bit of an awkward one to do, but
sure.
I still enjoy doing it. But the video editing, I can just like as soon as you taught us the slight basics, I got like straight into it. Like I knew what I was doing, and
Sure.
it just feels comfortable to us. I don't know, like it
Yeah.
just felt very familiar, even though I've never really done too much of it. It feels super familiar, and I just like that process of like when you're making something, you just keep watching back and watching back, and obviously after a while, some people get sick of rewatching it like 20 billion times. But to me, I'm like, I like it because you get sorted out. Like I think it's even funnier when you watch back your own work and you think it's done, and then even when you've watched it back, you went
Yeah.
that's out or that's
Yeah,
oh
definitely,
I
man.
messed that up. But yeah, like that's what it is for me.
So I think as well, one of the things that is like that kind of helps you for being so good at it is probably just kind of the fact that I think like me, that you have like kind of such like a bit of a vested interest in kind of YouTube videos and stuff like that. So I think that you obviously you're aware of that kind of content. You know how that kind of content is made, the kind of content that YouTube creators make, and just films as well. I know that you're really into films
Yeah.
too. So I think you kind of having that insight, being someone who's watched a lot of films, watched a lot of different kind of YouTube creators, and kind of understand how they make their videos. I think that's kind of helped you when being able to do your own project.
And I think when it comes to it as well, like I like to like I don't know. I think when I've got something in mind, I like to think about it a lot. If it's from a piece of music, a movie. I mean, I think I was just because I just realized I think a few days ago I just had one of the songs from the Portal soundtrack, and it's called one of the songs is called Android Hell. But I was just like,
Right.
I let it play, and that finished, and then the next song was like self esteem fund, and it's just this Melly Collin type sound, like pure ambient, and I've just really like resonated with it recently. So I'm just
Sure.
thinking about stuff about with that song, or that piece of music.
So when you hear like a song or something like that, do you start to get like images in your mind and you think of like
Yeah,
an image?
I definitely see it. I think oversimplify in the sense of yeah, I could do that, and then I realize like okay, it might be a bit more work, but I'll probably try something different and get it done.
For sure, yeah, yeah. And so, what kind of stuff did you do in the Tesco sessions? I know the first thing you did was like a Mortal Kombat video, right? It was like
Well, yeah, the first thing I did properly to just get used to like cutting and like finding good parts was at the time I think CEO just happened on
yeah,
more like it's this big fighting tournament in Florida, What I love about it is obviously when you get to the final, if you got the top 8 in your game category for the game, it's like Tekken, Mortal Kombat. I don't think Soul Calibur got one. I'm trying to remember. Or Street Fighter. They would have to come in like as a wrestler, and it's great, just like these intros and stuff like that, and the fight in the ring. But what I loved about it was I was like, right, let's just get the best moments from CEO and just like edit them together. And yeah, I mean it's a long video, but obviously that was just to get used to like finding like key moments within sets of matches. Like obviously it's a set of 3, so it was good to learn that and get that down.
Definitely. Yeah, because you're kind of getting an understanding, as you said, of basic like kind of cutting, where you're going to put stuff, and how to actually how to kind of make a montage of clips, how to make that interesting. I think after that, when you made it was kind of like a homage to Call of Duty Zombies, and I think one of the things that, we're just talking about here is the reason I like that project so much was because, as you said, you picked a song that you liked, and you used that song to kind of amplify the images that you were using. So some of the cuts, like you started to kind of using your own initiative, use some kind of advanced techniques, which is things like how to do a hard cut on a beat or something like that. So for example, like, if there's going to be like a slow part of the song, you would have like longer cuts, or you would have like faster cuts if there was like a fast part of the song. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because like I had that song in my head for like ages. I think it was because the song that was used was it was Don't Panic. It was a cover of Don't Panic's Coldplay.
Yeah, I like that
And
song,
it was used in the X-Men, I think Apocalypse. Yeah, it was Apocalypse trailer. And ever since I heard that song, that cover of that song, I was like, I loved it. I loved the proper slow. Because if you listen to the original Don't Panic, it's just like, I think it has that same sense, but it's just like, it's not as foreboding, like, oh, like this is like the big one. It was more just like calmer, chiller. So I always had that song in mind, and I've always had like the idea of like I wanted to do a tribute to zombies because obviously, like that the time when I made it, obviously I think it was like the last map ever in the story of the game was coming up, and I was like, I need to do something just to kind of say we've been here for years. Because what like World at War was 2008, so that was like what 10, 12 years ago. Am I right?
Yeah, I think so.
12 years.
It's a long time. It's pretty crazy to think that, time really has flown, because that's mad to think it was that long ago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
It doesn't feel like it, but yeah.
Don't remind us.
No, but that's cool, and I love that project, and I think that's also a kind of good mindset that you have. That I think generally when you create something, you've got the total right attitude, which is you create something that you want to make. Like you should never create something like, for example, a lot of people write scripts because they think this is a popular idea, or I'm going to do something that's popular. And I think that it's never going to be really sincere if you do that. And also, if it's popular, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be good. Whatever's going to be the most sincere thing to you, I think you're going to put the most into it. And obviously, you're probably going to have the best understanding of it because you know it. And like the fact that you've played that game and you know so much about that game, you know exactly what people want to see. You know exactly what parts are good parts of the story or good parts of the franchise, and you know exactly what parts to use, right? So it's important to kind of have a good awareness of that, I think.
Because I also think like recently, just like I'm really into trailers. I think trailers are one of my favorite things to like watch edit wise. Because
yeah, same.
I mean, I keep saying recently, like obviously with the PlayStation 5 announcement.
Yeah.
Hitman 3, and I love Hitman. Mm-hmm. Hitman 3's new trailer came out. I just love it. Like it just.
Check that out.
It's a really good trailer. I just don't know. I don't know who to hired at IO for the trailers for that for like Hitman. But I feel like every Hitman trailer is just on point.
I think definitely I agree. And I remember you showed me a trailer which I'd seen at the time, but I definitely forgot about, and it was the Halo trailer with the what's it called? What they call like miniatures, like the miniature figures.
It's still one of me. It's still, I think to this day, I think nothing has topped it. I don't think nothing has topped that trailer. Oh, sorry, advert really. And even that ad campaign, because with that ad campaign, it was mostly just like trying to sell a war that never happened.
Yeah.
But it's just so like, that I could believe that. I feel like, and just that miniature and just the music and like how everything is timed and just the emotion on like
Yeah.
certain miniatures' faces. And it's like you don't think of them as like little miniatures. You think of like these were people. These really were like going through this massive fight that was just a struggle, and
Yeah.
it's just I love it. Like, and
It was awesome.
come
Yeah.
to think about it, it's like when it comes to like Halo adverts, well, when Bungie was doing them, I guess, because obviously I don't want to say anything about Halo 4 and 5, but with the adverts, it's just like the remember Reach with like Halo Reach, in that it sells us like this heroic image of like these Spartans who sacrificed their lives,
Yeah.
and then another one on the trailers, it's just an ordinary day
Yeah.
at Reach going, oh, we're just, I'm going to the shop, or oh, I'm going to drop off the kids to school, and it's just like this is like going to be the worst day of like your life, and it's just mental.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I remember that. I think that trailer was absolutely awesome. And I remember me and you looked at some of the I think it was the PS2, because PS2 they had like that kind of whole alien kind of they wanted it to be like this. PS2 they were trying to make it seem like this otherworldly kind of thing, and I thought those adverts are really cool.
And obviously I showed you that PlayStation 4 one recently.
Yeah.
And I said that I love that bizarreness. I don't know, because I think back in the day, I think that bizarreness, I bet to a normal person would go,
Yeah.
this, but I also like the idea that they're trying to capture your imagination of like there's an advert where there's just a girl with an odd shaped head just talking about the human endeavor.
I love
and
that.
yet
Yeah,
that's like
advert's
that's
so
like
good.
that's just like okay, that's the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
I don't know what it looks like.
Which has
and I
got
don't
like a thick Glasgow accent as well, so it's like it's just
who directed it? Was it
Chris Cunningham? It was Chris Cunningham who directed it, and
Twins,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he did Rubber Johnny, and he did Come to Daddy as well, and they're both terrifying music videos.
He also did
Window Licker.
Window
Yeah,
Licker.
he did Window Licker.
Honestly, that was a music video.
That music video is so good.
I think I told you when I was younger, that music video scared the living daylights out of me.
Yeah,
it's terrifying. I remember vividly. It was like I think it was like maybe on like one of the music channels, and my brothers. I was at my door in the doorway, and I was like, "No, I don't want to look at it." And my brothers were like, "Come on, Christian, look at it!" Like just trying to torture us with it, because I just did not like it. I keep forgetting to mention to my brother and because honestly, that song Window Licker, it's completely out of his style. Like it's not.
It's really ambient in like
style. Because obviously he has different monikers.
For sure,
But like for EFX Twin, when I listen to his like catalog, and it's all like mostly ambient music.
Yeah.
And then I listen to the Window Licker, or maybe even Come to Daddy, and you're just like.
Come to Daddy's totally out there. Come to Daddy's like a death metal electro, really. It's
I haven't seen that music video, and I don't want to, because I'm just like.
It's terrifying.
Like, isn't that just like a bunch of like kids with his face on?
Yeah, well, it's the same as like Window Licker, where they've just like superimposed the face on, and then like there's like a grandma who's got his face superimposed on. But the thing is, the reason that makes Window Licker so good is because it's like a critique on like rap music, because obviously rap music videos are always really exploitative, like exploit women and stuff, and it's like subverting that. It's like making it like they all have his face with his horrible smile, and it's like
and you've got that one shot where like it's not just him, and then he turns around. It's just that's the monstrosity that like was like nah. I'm scared of this music video. That's what made me scared of it. And the song though is so good though.
Yeah, it's an amazing song.
Like
it's like a 10-minute video. Well, he's actually. I was listening the other day to some of his stuff, and I can't remember what it was, but he's got like piano pieces, and he's so good on the piano. He's like a proper genius.
Is it not? Really. I'll have a look, because I'm sure it's the one where I think he put like certain stoppers on the strings of the piano to make it sound different.
I wouldn't be surprised, because he's so kind of creative, and he's English as well. I'm sure he lives like in Cornwall or something.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
It's but like he's just, and he never does interviews with anybody. He's a really bizarre and interesting character.
I think the album is called Druckus.
Yeah,
it might be.
Yeah, it is.
That's the one. Yeah, because that entire album apparently. Because I haven't listened to that one. I stopped listening to certain ones, and they go back to them. But that one was, I think he was experimenting with this like piano thing with this. I think if you stop certain strings, it will make different kind of sounds.
That's amazing.
That's how he's experimenting with it.
So creative.
Oh yeah, and I watched because the main video, like how I learned about it mostly is this thing called deep cuts.
Yeah.
And it's just an entire video of like just going through his discography and
Wow.
even going through as the person himself of like, oh, he made this album with this moniker, but he also
Yeah,
did
yeah.
Apex because he had another one called.
He
Uh,
had like a more breakbeat kind of moniker that did like more kind of like that kind of breakbeat fast drums. I know that he did that in
I think I also think I got back into him a bit as well because in one of the Call of Duty Zombies, not the Treyarch one, but like in Infinite Warfare,
yeah,
they did a zombie map called Wave in the Redwoods, and
right,
there's two, and obviously the one of the main areas is like just a wave like area, and it's got a couple of like songs.
yeah,
So it had a Prodigy because I had
brilliant,
Your Love, and then the other one, the one that EFX Twin did was it was Didgeridoo. That was the
right.
song that was in the game. So like,
Yeah,
oh, like, I really like listening to it. And I was like, oh, it's EFX Twin. I was like, oh, I know EFX Twin and all that. I used to remember calling him Apex Twin because I didn't know how to.
it's one
I
of
didn't
those
know it was
things.
Apex.
Yeah, I mean, there's a like a bit of like a doom metal band called Caius, and I didn't know what they were called. And I remember I was in a bar and there was this other band on, and I remember saying to the guy like, "Oh, these sound a bit like Kius," and the guy was like, "You mean Caius?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, never heard anyone say that until now."
Yeah,
So,
so I'll just put that out.
but yeah, no, but man, like, yeah, I think like Apex Twins, obviously, Apex Twins. Sorry, it's in my head now. But
Oh, yeah,
yeah, he's awesome, man. He's a real genius. But I think that
yeah,
yeah, I've always noticed I think you've got a pretty good taste in music because I remember that one time in one of the sessions you were listening to Brockhampton, and obviously I'm a massive Brockhampton fan as
yeah.
well. They're obviously
I
they've
think
got quite popular now, but
I wonder if I've done that though, because they've been dropping singles, and I haven't been listening to them, and I don't know if it's because I'm like, okay, you did a track with them, Dua Lipa and all that, and I'm like, oh no, I'm turning into like one of those people who's like, I knew them before. Like I didn't even, to be honest, I didn't know them when they did the first album, so
yeah,
I can't see anything because I've never listened to that album. But I was like, I was there at the saturation era. I was there. I listened to one, two, and three.
yeah. I got into them. I think it like saturation free, so I was quite late into it still. But
Oh, I remember like in bed at like 4, 3 in the morning when they tweeted out that, oh, thank you for Saturation 2. Oh, here's a single from Saturation 2.
yeah,
But also Saturation 3 is coming. And I
that's
was like,
awesome.
3 albums in a year. Like, oh, come on.
Yeah, they rock, man. They really strong work ethic and just such a like an amazing diverse group of people. Like they've from all kinds of backgrounds, and I think they make and obviously it's something that's so great about them as well, because it's interesting and it's quite unique in rap as well to have a group that is like has openly gay members or members from all different kind of countries, and I think it's really cool.
I mean, especially like uh Amia's verse. No, sorry, wrong member. Let's well not talk about Amia for
Oh
now.
yeah, you got
I
kicked
mean,
out, right? But yeah,
Kevin's verse on Junkie
yeah,
is quite like just why do people not like rap about being gay? It's just
yeah.
like
It's a good point, man. It's one of those things, isn't
it's
it, where
just
it's like people are like scared to kind of say it. It's like in football, that there's somehow never been a gay footballer. It's like it's impossible, but it's just something that they're not. Nobody wants to be the first person to say it, so it's like it's sad,
I
but
mean yeah, I mean also like the fact is like rap's had a quite homophobic
yeah,
history.
yeah, because it's
Really,
so like masculine. Like rap is such like a masculine music, so that's seen as something that would still be frowned upon, and it is in a bit in the rap community. But it's getting to a point now where people are more open to it and embracing of it, and
yeah.
that's why it's good that like that Kevin can rap about stuff like that, and he's just like, yeah, whatever. But
It's though. Sorry, before I like
comment,
go on the same note though, that Junkie is one of those songs where I feel like it doesn't age well anymore
yeah,
because it's a good song. But the thing is though, is like Matt like does a verse about like I hate people who beat women. I hate, and then a few months later, May gets,
stuff comes out about him, yeah,
and
I
it's like,
know.
oh.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Um, Yeah, man. There's so many good singers in the group as well. So like Bareface is such a good singer, and it's. But
Well, I like how they got. I think Job and Bareface where well, Bareface he was barely in like I guess in the leading vocals
yeah,
because I wouldn't be surprised if they used him for backing vocals or anything.
yeah,
But he's barely there.
true.
I mean, like pun intended, but like he's barely there. And then obviously when they started doing Iridescent and what's it called? Cat? No, I'm blanking. What's the recent album? Uh,
Oh, um,
look,
it's what's
with Sugar,
yeah,
with
it's got
Sugar.
Sugar and No Halo and stuff on.
Yeah,
I can't remember what the album's actually called, but Candy? No, it's not. I don't know.
no, it's
But
Ginger.
Ginger, that's it.
uh,
Candy. I knew it was something like that. But yeah, so but I'll just catch up with the chat really quickly. So people are just saying hello. And it's Matthew, Matthew Moon, who's been on this before. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday,
Happy birthday,
Matthew. Yeah,
Matthew.
happy birthday, bud. And he's saying that the PS4 trailer, I think he's saying PS5, sorry, he said it was pretty exciting. I think he's talking about Hitman, the new Hitman game.
Actually, well, let's go on that onto that. Like, did you watch the reveal or not?
I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen the design for it, and I think that Xbox and PS5 are going for the same thing, right? It's basically like a computer now. It's like a
But
tower.
it's weird because well, no, because apparently, like, I think Xbox is going for more consistency
Right.
with
Yeah.
frame rate, while like PlayStation's like, no, we want to get the load times down.
Yeah.
So, but apparently Xbox is still powerful. Well, do you know what they revealed at the PlayStation?
I don't know too much about it, man.
I'm trying to remember I'm trying to remember the game wise, like
Yeah.
the game moment. So the first one they announced was. So do you remember like Uncharted Lost Legacy?
Kind of. Yeah.
So it was like it wasn't like a main Uncharted game. It was kind of like its own thing. It was a short like kind of game. Well, Spider-Man Miles Morales is coming out
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
in thingy. So you play as Miles, of course, and that was the first thing they announced. Resident Evil 8. I was happy about that.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good one.
And you play Ethan again, so
Really?
it's first person again.
Oh wow. I wonder how that's that. Oh man. So it might be a bit like yeah, because 7 was so scary, dude.
Well, now it's called Village. Well, Village Resident Evil. Like that's how they showed it, but it's obviously Resident Evil Village.
Oh, I'm
It's
excited
kind
for
of
that.
giving that like Resi 4 vibe. I don't want to spoil who's in the trailer. Obviously,
Okay.
Ethan's back, but
Cool.
you can watch it yourself. And
Sounds
then what
exciting, man.
else? Obviously Hitman. Oh, Hitman 3. When I saw as soon as I saw Agent 47 come on that screen, I was like, Hitman 3, Hitman 3. I was so excited. I was like, I could not wait. It's literally just Hitman 2, but obviously better graphics and like continues the story. But anything that continues Hitman's story, I'm like, cannot wait. What else? Resident Evil 8.
So Anthony in the chat says that he says hello Christian. He says long time no see. And he also says that he likes the look of Rootinal Deathloop. I think that's how I don't know if that's how you say it.
Yeah.
And
So Deathloop's been made by Arcane Studios, which is Dishonored.
Yeah.
And Prayer. They're doing that, but basically, like the main character is in a, well, what do you think, Deathloop, and it looks like it has like stylings of like bits of Dishonored where you can use obviously that type of teleport, but like you just use like some sort of like telekinetic powers, or you just push them out of the way and stuff like that, and you basically got to take out these targets. And I think the other big feature about it though is players can invade your game, obviously in a lore kind of way.
I've heard about that. That's like what they try to do that with Doom.
Doom.
The newest Doom, right?
Still doing it? I think they're still doing it.
I still haven't bought it yet, but that's like on my list of things that because I was waiting until the price goes down a bit, but I'm gonna get it.
I'll quickly go back to Doom, but yeah, Deathloop is one of the other games. I'm trying to think. Obviously, they showed up a new Gran Turismo. It's staple for like PlayStation because it's just their game to be like, this is what our console can do.
Absolutely.
And that's the same with Forza.
Did they do a new? Is there a new Ratchet and Clank or something? I'm sure I saw
that. Ratchet and Clank. Yeah, there's a new Ratchet and Clank coming out.
That looks awesome.
And they were showing off like how we can go to one area and another area without loads like at all.
Well, that's so like they try to do that with God of War as well, right? It's a really good idea because you know you get these games, and especially back in the day when you used to go to a new stage, and it's like it interrupts the experience. Like if it's like seamless between loads, like they try to do that in God of War, and it did really work because you could do it, and you can kind of get around it by having a cutscene where like you're kind of revealing something, but then it's also I guess loading the map. But yeah, it's definitely a pretty cool thing because sometimes the load screen does take you out of it. Definitely.
It's a bit of a weird time. It's exciting. Though, like I say, I remember because obviously it was supposed to reveal I think last week or so.
Yeah.
just people in the comments, man. Like, obviously, just the timing of what was
Haters.
happening,
Yeah.
and just people going, "What does this have to do with PlayStation?" Like, obviously, the protest is like,
Yeah.
"I want to see it now. I want to watch it. I want to see it." I'm like, "Can you not
Yeah.
wait like a week or
I know.
so?"
I know.
Like, a man's just died, and it's
Yeah.
like, "Come on,
I
guys."
know. It's pretty tough, man. So Matthew as well saying that he says that the best reveal at the event for him was the Demon Soul remake. So I'm not sure about that
Uh,
one.
so Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Obviously, Demon Souls was like really the first one, and it's a
Okay.
full on like remaster now. Uh, Blue Point's doing it, who did the Shadow of the Colossus remake,
Oh
so
wow,
that's
awesome,
been
man.
mastered. Obviously, I'm not really into Demon Souls as much.
I played
Um,
Dark Souls and I got absolutely smashed on it, and it
I
literally
want
frustrated me so much that game.
I want to try Sekiro because
Yeah.
Sekiro looks a bit more. It's still hard, but it looks a bit more like not as oh right, you've got to go here to get this weapon thing.
Yeah.
Because I played Dark Souls 3 and obviously I watched like guides and stuff to get through it.
You
And
have
what was
to
it?
really, don't you? Because
Oh,
it's
and another game that they showed off was Ghostwire Tokyo, and it's
right.
like this first person like
Sounds
you're just
cool.
fighting these type of demons and stuff like that. Like I say, I think you would have to watch it yourself. Um,
That sounds
yeah,
awesome. I mean, I like the sound of that at least. So I think,
but like I said, there wasn't like I don't think it was disappointing because like I said, the games that were announced were Spider-Man, Hitman 3. I love Hitman. And obviously the Ratchet and Clank as well. I love Ratchet and Clank.
I love Ratchet
And
and Clank.
what was the other game? Oh, Resident Evil 8, especially Resident Evil 8. Because I was seeing, because I didn't mind Resident Evil 2 and 3 being remade, especially 3, because I was like, you might as well get out of the way before the next gen. I really can't wait for
Yeah.
Resident Evil. I wanted to know what was going on after what happened in the DLC. But just, yeah, I don't know. Sackboy's coming back from Little Big Planet and he's getting his own little game.
No way.
Like
That's
it's a
awesome.
platformer, it's a full on platformer. It's not like Little Big Planet, so he's
Yeah,
getting his own game.
I'll be down to play that.
Yeah.
Like that sounds really fun.
Yeah.
We the one
Uh,
thing that one game that we've been playing and we smashed it like pretty fast, but we were playing Streets of Rage 4 because obviously that came
oh
out
yeah.
for PS4 and obviously you can do couch co-op with three people. So me and my roommates were just sat. We were just absolutely smashing that, and it's like the playability is not that long because once you've completed it with a few different characters and unlocked everybody, you're pretty much done. But it was really fun just for like something that doesn't require too much kind of attention, and it's just a beat 'em up game. You know what I mean? Classic, but
Yeah. Well, well, like I say, I think with with PlayStation 5, there's not that much else to talk about. But we'll go back to two. Obviously, I want to talk about Mortal Kombat and then
okay.
also like Doom because Mortal Kombat got like that big expansion, Aftermath,
Yep.
which added in RoboCop, and I'll go back to that because obviously
Okay.
I can split off to the fact that because of that I watch RoboCop to understand certain things. So Doom Eternal is great. It is great. It is great. It is great.
Definitely.
The
I can
music in
imagine.
that especially
Oh,
is
dude.
amazing.
Doom music's so good. It's
Unfortunately though, Mick Gordon's not coming back for the DLC
okay.
because he had a bit of a problem with Bethesda, and Bethesda and them were having like
All right.
it's a weird one because on his end he's kind of like you know because when the collector's edition they got like the soundtrack early
Mm-hmm.
and apparently it was mixed quite poorly. Like there were certain
That
songs
sucks,
that were
man.
just like for example, BFG Division is this big song in the original Doom, but it's also in Doom Eternal. Like if you go into like the training area of the map, it'll just play BFG Division, which is one of the best songs in the original Doom.
And then obviously an amazing gun in the game as well. So
Oh yeah, definitely. But
the gun that just ends it all.
the thing that happens is that you listen to the mix and it just sounds awful. It just doesn't sound as good as the original.
So yeah,
And
yeah.
it sounds like literally there's a point where there's in the original version there's a massive build up after a certain point in the song. It's just like it just keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going, it just builds up
Yeah.
to back into it again. In the Doom Eternal one, that build up's like kind of up there, disappears, and it's literally just like a hard cut, and you're like,
That's
hang on,
weird.
where's the
Yeah.
and it just cuts back in. So the mix is completely wrong, and certain songs were mixed by Gordon,
Yeah.
certain songs weren't. So people were going, "Oh, this is awful. Mick, like, why would Mick do this?" It's like
Yeah.
I didn't do this, and he's kind of like slagging off the Bethesda or id.
Yeah.
in a way, but like quite cheeky.
Yeah.
But people are going, oh well, it must be its problem. They wanted it rushed out. They wanted it rushed out.
Yeah.
And turns out though, they asked him like, well, look, we asked him to do these tracks. We asked him about like to do like we wanted him to do more of the action ones, and we only wanted like 10 tracks, maybe 8, like 11. Like,
Yeah.
he was like, no, I can do the entire soundtrack. Don't you worry. I just need an extension. So they're like, okay. I know. I think he was like, he only did a couple of tracks, and some of them were just like the ambient tracks, and they were like, well, can you get the more
Kind of
heavy hitter ones,
the
like
ones
proper,
that we know and love Doom for.
Yeah, you know when you're in a middle of like a fight, and
And
it's
it's
like
so intense, and the music's like when like one of those portals opens and the music just kicks in, and you're like, oh my
and
god.
it's just like, and you're like, you notice it, like it's so
So yeah, it's so
like, oh, like I'm trying to remember, like it's just great, like it's just in your face, and but he was doing it, and he only got a couple of the ambient tracks mastered, and they were like, Gordon, come on, like what's happening? He's like, look, just give us an extension, and I can get you even more tracks. It's like, so think about that. He couldn't get 3 to 4 done, but he's asked for an extension plus more tracks.
Yeah, it's mad.
So apparently they were like, okay. And what was happening, they were worried. So what they did was they asked their in studio like audio guy, like, look, you mix the tracks the best you can, but unfortunately we don't have like the main source files.
Sure.
So you're just gonna have to try and do your best. And at first people were like, the trash, and then as soon as the statement comes out and they've said, look, we've parted ways, we're not working with him, he's not coming back with the DLC, which is sad because like his music, I think at this point is like iconic.
Totally, man.
But then again, though, people were saying like, well, you got to realize there are other musicians out there, and I'm like,
true.
It is a high bar. It's a high bar.
Yeah,
it's got
big shoes to fill. So Anthony was saying that Doom VR is mint, but I had to get a media savvy volunteer Ray to help me on it. So that's awesome that you guys kind of work together to do that. And and Matthew said that the mixing sounds a little off in the album. It could sound a lot better. And Charlotte and Lynn were just kind of saying that they haven't really had too much of a chance to play the games, but they appreciate the graphics. And Charlotte says she prefers watching Let's Plays as well, which are pretty cool. So
I was gonna say as well, because it's just the VR though. I don't get Doom in VR. I don't.
I would be terrified me if I was doing it, because it would be so intense. I'd be like,
it's not about being terrified. It's more like you're supposed to be like moving, and then with VR, it's like, movement. Oh gee, I'm gonna be sick.
Well, that's the amazing thing I love about Doom, is that the combat's so intense, and that's what makes it so fun for me, is that there's no, like, I do appreciate the realism of like certain games where you get out of breath, you get encumberment if you're carrying too much. Like, those are good features, but what makes Doom so fun is that you can just strafe, move, and it's so fast paced. That's why it's so fun.
Just the fact it's like the Doom Slayer is just like the ultimate, like, I think one of the new enemies is like the Marauder. And like this game rewards you for being aggressive. It's like movement and aggressive. So definitely. You'll run out ammo a lot, but obviously in this one they've decided to go, right, you've got to use your chainsaw a lot more. So you're using your chainsaw, you're like just getting more ammo back, health. It's honestly great combat loop, really fun to play.
Definitely, totally. I totally agree, man.
Halfway through, obviously the Marauder comes in, and he has one of the best intros as an enemy ever. It's just this. It's just like this. Literally, your first time you fight him, it's like this proper stare down between him and the Doomslayer. But like, he challenge you to go, look at me, fight me. In the combat. And obviously, when they start spawning normally, he's just in your face, and he doesn't. So if you try to shoot him from a distance, he'll just shield it.
Yeah.
But if you try to get him close, he'll just like shoot you with his shotgun.
Yeah.
So obviously, at a certain point, he'll go for a big swinger of his axe, and then you can shoot him and open him up.
That's awesome.
And people, it's so funny. At first, it is a bit awkward.
Yeah.
And then you get used to him, and you go, oh, like, here's a Marauder, right? I know how to deal with him first.
You need
and
to
then
get
go back to deal with everyone.
Yeah, that's the one.
Point is that the entire point is that he's like, come at me, I'm here. Mm-hmm. Like, fight me, not these, fight me.
Yeah.
And I like that. Like, that kind of like increases the law of that fight as well.
Definitely.
When you fight those enemies. but everyone on Reddit and just you see going, I hear the Marauder. I kind of funny enough, I
It's getting
told
the
me
pan
mate,
down, man.
I was because I played it on um just hard. I can't remember what it's called, but I remember I played it on the. I think it's like Hurt Me Plenty or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and I was. No, it's Ultra Violence. That's the one.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I was just playing. I was playing on it, and I was just playing on it, and like, I thought it was quite good. Like, I think you have to play it on hard. That's how you have to play it
Of
on.
course, yeah, you have
Doom,
to.
but
It's the point, isn't it?
I got my friend to get it. I got him. I said, look, just buy it and play it because we can also play battle mode, which is
Yes.
also a really fun mode.
It's
And
interesting that they introduced that as well.
I haven't played it in a while, but it was fun. And Danny was like, he went through the game playing it, and he got like the third last mission or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was a marauder encounter, and he kept saying it was playing through the game. He's like, I hate the marauder. I hate the marauder. I cannot play. He got to a point. The marauder just kept killing him. He threw his control off the TV. He broke his TV. He couldn't. No, he threw his control off the TV and just started punching the TV. He was just like, I'm just sick of it.
That's
like, man,
you know what it is.
Near the end of the game.
Like Matthew in the chat earlier, he was saying that Sekiro was his favorite game of 2019, and I haven't played it, but I wanted to play it for a while. But it's one of it's a classic kind of to my knowledge at least, but it's a classic kind of ninja game where like if you ever played Ninja Gaiden or if you ever played Shinobi for Sega, where it's like
really
you get hit once and you die, and it's like so difficult.
Ninja Gaiden is like insane. Like I've only played like the one that was on the Xbox.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why is this so difficult?
It's so difficult. And
you play on like what difficulty am I playing on? Easy.
Yeah, it's the thing, right? You die in like one hit, and you're like, oh my, it's so stressful, but they're so fun. But you know, there's literally when you get to a point, you know you've died on that part like 50 times, and you just like your whole body's like kind of like shaking that you're gonna mess it up. So yeah, and let's just catch up a little bit with the chat here. So that Anthony says that Sekiro is like Tenchu, and Sue asked actually a good question. She said, "Can I ask opinions from the chat? What would you prefer seeing in the cinema? A basic film release version or an extended cut that helps tell the backstory a bit more?" So what would you rather for that one?
Oh, I don't know. I think, to be honest, I think I'd just go with the extended.
Yeah.
Actually, saying as we want a cut, like I probably will go back to Aftermath for MK.
Sure.
But saying as we want a cut, what do you think about the release of like the Snyder Cut thing? Like, finally, we're getting the Snyder Cut. I don't care. I never watched Justice League. But what do you think about that?
I'm not a massive fan of Zack Snyder anyway. Like, I think he's done some okay stuff, but
you know, like the amazing film Sucker Punch now.
Yeah, like like he's got a bit of a bad reputation, but I don't know, man. I think it's good when I tell you an interesting one. One of the best cuts of a movie that I've seen, like a recut, is there's a Jackie Chan movie called The Protector, and it was Jackie Chan.
2005.
No, that's there's a Thai movie called The Protector as well.
Because I showed you that when they were doing the stuntmen react to it, and that's it's that one take of him going up the.
That's a Tony Jaa film, so that's a Thai movie, which is like it's not really a remake, but it's like its own thing. But that's also a great movie. But the Jackie Chan one's like 1980 something, and he shot it was like a real B movie, and it was really gritty. And Jackie Chan and the director hated each other, and it was like a Hollywood movie, and Jackie Chan was used to doing like 1,000 takes in Hong Kong.
Yeah, I think because I was watching, was it Vanity? No, it wasn't Vanity Fair. No, it might have been Vanity Fair.
Yeah.
Because they did one of the breakdown things, and this British stuntman, also / martial artist / actor, he I think he mentioned that. He mentioned how like it just in the Western audience they try to bring him over to America. And like try to make him this gritty, they try to make him like person. But it's like Jackie Chan wasn't known for that. He was known for being this guy who was a bit. I wouldn't say it off, but I guess it off when he had to get in battle because he was a smart detective in these films. But as soon as he gets in a fight, it's like, oh god, here we go, and it's everything is either going wrong against him, but also going wrong against the enemy.
That's a thing. He kind of like didn't like that. Or he liked the Bruce Lee stuff where Bruce Lee's this guy who can't be put down, nobody can hurt him, he can just destroy everybody. He's like this undefeatable guy who doesn't want to fight but always gets dragged into a fight. But Jackie Chan wanted to show that he could do these death-defying stunts and he had the bravery, but he was kind of forced into these positions and like he could get hurt. He wasn't like Bruce Lee where it was like,
Oh,
he can't get
that
hit. Like Jackie Chan
that
would show the pain and
that
he would do
that
it in a funny way. So
that that clip was no. There's three I can think of. The one where he slides down like the pole and it's all these lights and it's clearly
Police
him.
Story 1, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Same.
clearly him sliding and smashing through these
Yeah.
like fixed
So
lights.
yeah, he broke his coccyx in that, and he also got 2nd-degree burns on both his hands because
Oh yeah,
he had to do it in one take, and it was literally like there was lights
like
all the way down this pole, and he was falling into like a shopping like a kiosk, and he had to like drop the whole way down from that. And if he let go, he would have died. And they had like 30 cameras. It was the most cameras they'd ever used on a film ever in Hong Kong at that time. And they were all filming at the same time so they could get every single angle. And he just went all the way down and he
you gotta,
made the
and then
stunt.
you gotta realize it's not just like the lights that like bursting of lights that might burn them. It's also friction burn.
Friction from the
So
rope, yeah.
gee, was it rope? I thought it was is it not pole?
It's not. I think it's like a rope. I think it might be a pole. Actually. It's something that they hung there. I don't know. If I
Yeah.
can't remember if it's a pole or rope, but it's lit with it's covered in like fairy lights as well, and it's just an unbelievable
And then
stunt.
there was another one. This one was more funny. This one, because I learned from the stuntman reacting. They were doing a take where I think he's on top of a bus or something, or a truck,
Yeah.
or some sort of like with elevation, and he had to jump through this window. He accidentally missed the stunt window, and he actually went through a proper pane of glass.
Yeah.
And they got the shot. The shot's in the film,
But
and
it's
he just
actually like
smashed
real
through.
glass. Yeah. Well, one thing that they did in Police Story 1 as well is that he hated in Hollywood movies how with the sugar glass that they have, he really didn't like how easy it would smash and he thought it looked really fake. So he made sure that they got the sugar glass that was double coated. So it would still like cut you when you went through it, but it would still smash. And there's a big mall scene and all of the stuntmen were covered in like tons of cuts because there was this double paned glass that they were using for it, which was like extra hot, like it would shatter everywhere.
Like
So
Asian stuntmen, like when it comes to China or Japan or what,
yeah,
they're great. Like Donnie Yen, because there
he's
was like
amazing
obviously
as well.
talking about like some of the Imp Men films,
Yeah.
and apparently like he would pay, because obviously he would pay some of his stuntmen extra if he was like, look, let me sell the shot, let me actually like knock you out, and I'll pay you extra. Because over there, no, because over there, if you're on the stunt team and you're not on camera, you don't get paid.
Yeah.
Obviously, your time is only paid on camera. So I'm guessing Donnie Yen was like, I'll use this to an advantage. I'll pay you an extra if I knock you out. It's like, geez, like what?
Well,
like
one like last story, and then we'll touch on something more media savvy related because we could literally talk about film all day.
yeah.
But an interesting story is when Jackie Chan was a young kid, like he must have been about 18, I think. He was a stuntman at the time. He'd done it like his whole life. He was brought through an academy, and then he was into stunts. And he was working on Fist of Fury with Bruce Lee. He was just one of the stuntmen, just like one of the extras. And Bruce Lee had this stunt he wanted to do where he was like, right, I'm gonna kick someone with a back kick, and they're gonna fall out this window, and it's a 20 feet drop from out the window from the kick, and they're going to be hoisted out, but they're just going to land flat on the ground. That's it. And no one had ever really done a stunt quite like that without any support. And like literally, so Bruce was like, okay, who's going to do it? And none of the stuntmen stepped forward. And at the time, Jackie Chan really wanted to get a reputation because he was relatively unknown, and he came forward and was like, I'll do it. And Bruce was like, right, yeah, if you'll do it. So they hooked him up to the thing because he was going to get hoisted after he got kicked. And then Jackie Chan did the stunt, flew out the window. He said, because the thing that made the stunt so scary is that you'd fall back, but you can't see what you're going to land on. So you had to roll afterwards, and he just had to like try and break the fall and roll. And he said that he did the stunt, hit the deck, the wind went out of his sails, it knocked him out straight away. And then he said he woke up, and like the director, Sammo Hung, who was one of the stunt coordinators, and then Bruce all stood over him, and Bruce Lee was like, "Oh, good job, kid, for doing that." But like that was Jackie Chan's interaction with Bruce for the like one of the first times. But pretty crazy story.
I didn't know that he was in was it Enter the Dragon? He's actually in one of Bruce Lee's, but it's him and these two like I guess like
UMBR and Sammo Hung as well. Yeah, they're in
because
there
they
as well.
both
Yeah.
taught Bruce Lee. Or was it no? Bruce Lee taught them, I think, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
I think I don't think like he was
A mentor,
like a
like
proper
proper
mentor,
mentor.
but he was like he definitely had interactions with him. And in Enter the Dragon, Bruce actually hits Jackie in the face with a nunchuck like full force by accident, and gave Jackie a bruise, and he was like really apologetic
And
about
like
it.
and Jackie, it's Jackie and these two of the main people who are
Yeah,
like the main.
the Free
They look
Dragons.
after.
It's
Yeah,
UMBR and Samo. And interestingly, when they were sat before when the Big Boss Bruce's first movie came out, they were sat actually in a movie theater watching it as like 16, 15-year-old kids or whatever, 17-year-old kids, and they were watching it and they were thinking like this is what we want to do. And they because that before that it was all like really lavish martial arts swordsman movies, and then they were looking at that watching Bruce's movie and they were like saying like this is what we want to do. And then they were actually in the Fist of Fury, and then they were actually in End of the Dragon, and then they end up becoming the major filmmakers in Hong Kong after that. So
it's like obviously Jackie's the most well known. Is it because is the two of us because they decided to stay more in Asia?
well,
I would
it's
say,
just because Jackie was such a good writer, he was such a good director,
and he
and
was quite charismatic in his
he's
performance.
charismatic, and he kind of pioneered that style of like getting hurt, but his his stunts and his choreography of his stunts are just so creative and how he's going to use objects and like where he's going to move, and he had his own stunt team and the way that he trained them. It was just so unbelievable, and like Samo and UMBR were really good with that kind of stuff. But I think Jackie was just like on another level.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, but so mate, anyway, I want to ask you, bud. So after you did the video editing with stuff, you went on to one of Lisa's courses, right? And then you
yeah,
got into a bit of Photoshop after that. How was that for you? Because I saw some projects that you did, and I thought they were really really cool.
yeah. The Photoshop still is going well. It's one of those things where it's a bit awkward more than editing because I said this before. I feel like with editing, I have a bit more imagination to it. With Photoshop, I'm just like, right, what do I do here?
Yeah,
Um, but I think I'll get used to it. Like I said, I want to learn mostly anything Adobe because it'll
definitely.
just help in the future. Um,
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's as I said as well with the Photoshop thing. There's still stuff that can be incorporated into films. Like you can do amazing movie posters. You could do kind of custom thumbnails for YouTube vids and stuff. There's a lot of stuff where Photoshop can become like an asset to have when you're doing
mhm.
film related stuff. And I think did you do like was it a movie poster that you did in one of Lisa's sessions? Because I think I saw you did something like that.
Yeah, I did. I made a like a because it was one of me artists that I was listening to clipping. They just released an album called An Addiction to Blood, and
Okay,
basically I
cool.
kind of made like a theme around that poster. And I still liked how it came out. But yeah, good poster. I think it was a good poster. Simple
Definitely, I
one,
think it
but
was awesome, and I think that that was the one that had the hands at the bottom. It was like the gravestones, which were like quite silhouetted. It looked
yeah,
really cool, and I think that you downloaded some text to use for that, which I thought was pretty cool, like a
yeah,
custom text. So I thought that was awesome. You also had some of your work was showcased at Shine, right? I think we had one of your videos on loop at
yeah.
Shine. Do you remember that?
Unfortunately, I was annoyed because it was the zombies one, and you know how I had that problem where I went to upload it and I realized, oh, the black bars are like not saved in,
Ah,
and then I had to go back and sort it
sure,
out.
sure.
Obviously, then and then I found, and then obviously when I went to Shine, it was the one without the black bars.
Mate,
This messed up.
something similar happened to me when I was in college, like my very first year no, my second year in college. We did like this documentary on this guy, and it was such a good documentary. He actually used to play football for Sunderland, and it was like about how people remembered him and so on. And it was great. It was a good documentary we made, but we were going to miss the deadline for it. So I said to my tutor at the time, I was like, mate, like we're going to miss the deadline, so we're going to give you a rough cut, and you can grade us on that even. But when you show the film to people, because it's going to be shown it was going to be shown in the Gala Theatre in Durham for like, and everyone was going to be invited to it. I was like, can you put in the finished cut? And he was like, yeah, no problem. So we gave him the rough cut, right? 2 weeks later, I gave him the full cut, and then we were sat in the Gala Theatre watching it, and he just put the rough cut in, and there was literally, dude, there was a bit where like we hadn't cut part of the camera movement out because I was still inexperienced at the time, and the camera was like shaking like that, and he left it in. And dude, when you're seeing that on a movie screen, you're seeing like that, so like changing the tripod side like up and down, and honestly, it feels like the world's gonna end. I was just sat there like, oh my god, I felt my
Like
whole body just getting hot.
like
Like I felt
cringe,
just like
like
with like rage and embarrassment. I was like, I can't believe that this is being shown to everybody.
Like
So
it's just like one of the slides is put text here.
yeah,
And text.
basically, it might as well have been. And I was just literally because it was such a good movie, and it was just like it really took everybody out of it. So I was like,
What did he say? Did he go, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I put the wrong code in"?
yeah, well, he was just said, oh, I didn't have any time, and I was like, mate, well, you could have told us beforehand.
What do you mean?
I could have done it. All you got to do is all you had to do was delete the video, put another video in, and export it again. But it is what it is. I don't hold grudges
Honestly,
now. So
just how lazy is that? Oh,
I know. So Sue saying that Wibbs says that he loves Bruce and Jackie. Yeah, me too, mate. I'm massively into that stuff. I don't know if you could tell. And then Sue saying that Bruce Lee Won My Heart, the biography film, was insightful. I think she's talking about Dragon, which is pretty good. And she says that she loves the image inside, so I'm more into still images at the moment, but until I can understand the video editing techniques more. But she says she loves the whole process, directing, editing, and the imagery as well. So
oh well, like, going back, I'll do because I do want to get to like Mortal Kombat for it because
sure,
I just
okay.
want to talk about like that still has like film stuff in it with the new story that was added. That is like because
Sure.
do you know the original Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
The film. I mean the film.
Yeah. Of course.
Who played Shang Tsung? I can't see his name. Terry Kanawa. I can't see his name. I'm
sure, man. Yeah.
Well, anyway, he played Shang Tsung, and obviously they've got him back for MK11, and
wow.
he's great in that. He's just fantastic. Like he plays Shang Tsung like, oh, like he's just that smug person. Like you're not like he plays like quite good throughout the story. You can't. He's up to something.
Yeah.
You cannot trust him. You cannot trust him. He's
Yeah.
always backstabbing people. But what was I gonna say? I blanked. Oh yeah, but I want to go back to. So RoboCop was one of the special characters.
Wow.
And out of the three they put in, it was Fujin, Shiva, and RoboCop. Out of the three, RoboCop I've actually played the most.
I can imagine he's pretty cool in it, yeah.
Like he's kind of like Terminator, because obviously Terminator's in it, and they did the thing of like Terminator versus RoboCop, and like I watched the first RoboCop, and it's a good film, really good film. Like it is funny how he just walks in, just goes bang bang, just shooting, and then when that woman goes, "Oh, thank you so much, you've helped me," and he goes, "Madam, you've suffered emotional shock. I have called a rape son." It's just like so. Like just
robotic, right? It's like
but like in the obviously in the game as well. Like now because once I've watched it, you understand all the references. Like obviously one of his intros is when he does the like the flick of the gun, and just like it's kind of sad because like his death is like
it's dude, he gets shot like a billion times, like and
then he just gets domed in the head, and he's still technically. I don't think he lived. He still technically lives. It's like.
It's so intense. They literally
and that's like one of the brutalities.
Oh really? Oh, that's so cool. That's
so basically, if you do a front grab, because what he's grabbing is he just grabs you, throws you back, pulls out his gun, and just shoots you a couple of times, and then the Cobra Cannon, which is like basically the anti-personnel sniper at the end of the film, he just shoots you with that. Well, if you hold down, basically he shoots you like normally. You're on the floor. And then you fall back, and then he just steps on your arm with like a spiked boot. And he aims it at your head, and then he looks at your hand, shoots your hand first, and then shoots you in the head.
Sounds amazing.
But it's funny because if you do it on RoboCop, like in a mirror match, he goes again.
Oh wow, that's so funny. I love that.
And like and some of the things after like doing a brutality, it's like the most like brutal like kill, and then he just goes somewhere there's a crime happening. Or he goes. Thank you. Have a nice. Thank you for your cooperation. And it's like you just murdered him.
Yeah, like well, that's what makes RoboCop such a good film as well. The subtext and the things about like it's a statement on capitalism and so on. It's a film that's like a lot of Paul Verhoeven films as well. Like Starship Troopers gets a lot of like critical analysis as well.
Like, well, I think it's because like I think at face value you may have looked. I don't know why RoboCop. Maybe because RoboCop actually had that message in a bit clearer. Well, and I can't see it. Can you see it for us?
Starship Troopers. Yeah.
Yeah. In that film, I'm guessing at face value, it's like, what is this? This is so dumb. But like in the analysis of it, it's just like, oh, this is about how how propaganda is used in war.
Yeah, exactly.
And how like obviously because I watched Red Letter Media cover it, cover it, like do the re-review.
Yeah, yeah,
And there's
yeah.
a point where Neil Patrick Harris character goes up to this like one of the creatures, and he's got like this tele still sorry, I can't speak. Telekina I can't speak. You know what I mean. You
Yeah,
can like read
it's
his
cool. Yeah.
mind, and it goes, "Oh, it's afraid," and everyone's like, "Get in there! We what? Like yes!" It's like you basically like wiped out this like race of like aliens because they're scared of you, so they're fighting back because you're trying to like take over them. And it's
Exactly.
just this like
It's about like kind of dehumanizing things as well. Like they just kind of see that as this, like, they're just monsters. That's it, and there's no like soul or anything. And
and like and it's funny because in RoboCop's ending, it doesn't really solve anything. It's just like, all right, we killed the main bad guy, the two main bad people of this film, right? What
yeah,
about like at the end of the day, like Murphy's sort of come back as being human.
yes,
He's sort of got his humanity back because obviously the last line in the film's like, "Oh, great shot, kid. What's your name?" Murphy, and it's not
yeah,
RoboCop, it's Murphy. But on the
exactly.
other
Yeah,
hand, it's
it's a
like,
good point. Yeah, good point. Yeah,
no, on the other hand, it's like, oh, but what about all the corporate like espionage and like what about just like at the start of the film, a boardroom watches a guy get brutally just gunned down by this giant malfunctioning robot, and then two of his peers are like, "I've got an opportunity here." It's like you just witnessed your friend die.
no, dude. Yeah, it's actually making me want to watch RoboCop again because it's been too long, man.
Because even like and even in Starship Troopers, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like the ending's just like
I remember
what?
watching that. Yeah, I remember watching Sarge True's ending and being like, just like, yeah. But
Like where did
dude,
that go?
also an amazing Paul Verhoeven film. Probably my favorite one actually is Total Recall. The Arnie one, obviously.
I haven't seen that,
So good,
but
man.
I think I think I see a pattern here. Even in that film, the ending's just like, well, that's the ending. And you're like,
Yeah.
what? Like I haven't seen it, but I know that in the ending he's still technically in a. It shows that he's technically might be in a dream world
Mhm.
still, but
Yeah, it's
it's that.
ambiguous.
But it's that like yeah, it's just like oh, so it seems like he ends his films in a quite of well, that was the ending.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I think
it's
he
like
does. Yeah, it does. You feel a bit like kind of dissed sometimes, but I know that what he's trying to go for. And just the best ever line in Total Recall, obviously the classic Arnie one liners, is when obviously his I think who's is his wife in it again? Is it like Sharon Stone or Michelle Pfeiffer or someone?
oh
It's
yeah
not
yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer. I think it's Sharon Stone. Like and she's like, oh, but we're married because like he finds out she's a spy and stuff, and he just shoots her in the head, and he's like, consider this a divorce. Best line ever. It's so good.
That just reminds me of like The Simpsons when they've got McBean and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's like you can't go around killing people, and he's like holding up the book, and he's like bang, he just massive magnum just shoots it,
They've done the
destroys
full.
the ball. He's like,
There's the full McBain movie on YouTube. They
oh, I
took
know,
like
yeah,
all of the
yeah, because
cuts
it's
and put
from
them
different
together.
episodes.
Yeah,
It actually, speaking of like 80s, like one liners, like finishing one liners, I think one of my favorite ones is in Lethal Weapon 2,
right. Yeah.
where he go because it's like they're dealing with a diplomatic immunity, like a diplomat.
Yep.
So obviously he's got diplomatic immunity, and he's like the kind of like the head of it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like and there's a point where Danny Glover goes up and he's running up and he sees him, he's aiming the gun, he's like diplomatic immunity, and he just shoots him in the head. He goes, he's like license revoked, and it's like
That's awesome. That's such a good line, dude. I watched the is it called The Nice Guys again recently with
oh
the
yeah
two
yeah
black
yeah
kids
with
with Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
It's so good, dude.
When he's like he's trying to break in and he goes
Yeah, and his hands just
in the
starts to
hospital.
pour blood, and he's like,
Was it
next.
Shane Black?
Yes, Shane Black. That's the guy. Yeah.
What else
Next,
did he make again?
dude, he did recently. He did was it an Alien or Predator film? I think he did a Predator film recently, but it got
Yeah,
like
it was
really bad
because
reviews.
wasn't he the original writer of Predator? He
Was he?
was.
I didn't actually know
Hang
that,
on,
but he might be. Yeah.
I'm sure he was the original writer of Predator.
Predator is an absolute classic as well. Okay, guys, yes. So I'm gonna post there's a bit we need to catch up in the chat a little bit, Christian. So I'll do that. But
Oh yeah, no worries.
there's yeah, I'm gonna post the survey in the chat because we do a survey every week. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to catch many of the virtual sessions, Christian, but you should. I think you probably like them, mate, because we always have a good crack on, and it's there's a good active chat always. We've got like Anthony and we've got like I think you're familiar with everybody like Charlotte as well, obviously.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's a good it's good crack, man. I think you'd like it, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
So in the staying connected sessions, which is what we're doing today, is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 4 to 5. So if you
All right.
ever, if you're ever just chilling out and you want something on the background, you can just whack it on. I know that you've been doing some of the sessions with Lisa as well, though, right?
Have you
So
got what was those resources for that movie trip, the two movie trailer things, or
yeah,
the?
so I'll email it to you, mate. It's just if you, I'll email it. It's on our YouTube channel, but it's just in the video link.
All right, okay.
And Dan posted that the link there in the chat.
All
So
right.
that's fantastic. So there's the survey, guys. But yes, catching up with the chat because we've got a lot of everyone said a few different things. Um, okay, so let's go up here a bit. Okay, so Anthony said that Mortal Kombat's getting a reboot movie wise, which would be cool.
Oh
Matthew
yeah, yeah,
said
yeah.
that MK11 has a very cinematic look to it, and Corey is a great villainous actor. Um,
Oh, is that? I wonder if that's RoboCop. Because of
might be,
the
yeah.
like the main gang leader in that.
Yeah, could very well
Um,
be.
yeah.
We've got Sue who says that the whole process of filmmaking from storyboarding through to the final result brings a lot of satisfaction to it, and to me too. Lynn,
Frustration, but satisfaction
frustration
as
but
well.
satisfaction, yeah, definitely. And Lynn says, Christian, we're near the end, but I just want to say that I really enjoyed your enthusiasm and knowledge, so that's pretty good.
Oh, oh great.
And Charlotte says that I would love trying storyboarding one day, and I'd like to do a short drawing animation.
Ah,
I would definitely recommend that, Charlotte, because I think you'd be really good at doing that, and also like kind of concept art as well. So if someone wanted to draw like a character, and then they give you an idea, and then you could go and draw it, I think that would be pretty cool. So I think you'd be really good at stuff like that, Charlotte. Sue, after that, said that well done, Christian. Your enthusiasm is amazing. And,
oh,
and
cheers.
Charlotte, Charlotte said, but Lynn, she says it wouldn't have been a Christian interview without enthusiastic talking about films. So that's true.
I was gonna say though, because I wanted to bring up like when she was going about storyboarding, and I want to bring up, oh my god, I want to bring up that film we talked about it, where it's like the Island of Doctor Matin, or I forgot what it was, where it's about like to go to the island, and obviously there's this mad doctor who's like turn people into animals.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's like Doctor Shivago or
Yes,
something,
Dr. Zhivago,
and
that's the one. Yeah, I think.
and
Yeah.
like the entire production was like like I mean, we've got Apocalypse Now, and that was that you can watch that, but you also I think this one was worse. I mean, Apocalypse Now was crazy.
I
That
love
had
Apocalypse
many
Now. Yeah, it's
problems.
so good.
Was it, well, no, Apocalypse Now is the main film. Army of Darkness is the documentary.
Heart of
Yes,
Darkness. Army of
Heart is like
Darkness is Evil Dead 3.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
know the one.
yeah.
Heart
Yeah.
of Darkness, like, but that film had its problems. I think the Doctor Shivago one's way funnier though, because it's just like, oh, I would hate to be in that situation where you just
Yeah.
go, because with Frank Scorpion, he was just like, I want this film
Yeah.
perfect, and
It
I'll do
was.
anything. I'll
Yeah.
sell all my houses. I'm gonna get this film perfect, and it's like,
Put his
oh
own
my
money in
god,
it. Probably took years off his life doing it, to be honest, because it was so. It's like one of the good things about that as well is just that everything's going wrong. Martin Sheen had a heart attack. They had to tell the studio that he had heat. They said that he had exhaustion, and it was stress from the heat because they couldn't because the studio had pulled the money if they said he had a heart attack. And then Martin Sheen is still filming it. There was there was storms. There was so many storms, and they were destroying all of the film sets. They were supposed to be there for 6 weeks. They were there for 3 months, and then at the very end, they were paying they were paying um, Marlon Brando like a million every like minute or something. He was getting paid
did
more than
did
any actor had ever been paid, and he
and
turned up two
did
stone
also like
overweight.
yeah, and did
So
also like Coppola also wrote The Shining, didn't he? Like the film version.
I don't actually know. I'm not sure
One
about
with
that. I'm not sure about that. But he's wrote
no,
some
sorry,
good stuff.
Stanley Kubrick. Stanley
Kubrick,
Kubrick.
Kubrick.
That was
Yeah, I think it's Kubrick,
no,
right?
because no, but like I'll still mention that though. There was like a couple of behind the scenes where it was Kubrick, and it just looks so calm. Like
Yeah.
they're in the like little hotel, and you just
He.
see Kubrick typing away,
Yeah.
and you just see like Jack Nicholson just like practicing his lines, going through it.
He. Did you know when what's her name? I can't remember something. The girl in
His
The
wife.
Shining's name? What's her? I can't remember her
Oh,
name. Kubrick. Yeah, it's Kubrick. something, is it something Shelley or something?
Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall, yeah. So do you know the scene when he's chasing her up the stairs and she's screaming and crying? Apparently, the
And he's
reason.
like, "Oh, I'm gonna bash his
Yeah, I'm
skull in."
gonna
Yeah,
bash
yeah.
your brains in. He's like, I don't want to hurt you. I just want to bash your brain. When he's like that, when he's holding the axe, and he's like, he's like scared and terrifying. Apparently, one of the reasons that she's so tormented and stressed in that is because Kubrick made her film it like 100 times. They did like 100 takes or something.
Mm.
So she's just so stressed out by having to do that over and over again. So yeah,
Like I just like I don't know, like it worked. It worked. We got the shot. We got the film. I still need to watch it, and I remember my friend like Sophie was like didn't really like it, but I think
oh,
she
it's
might.
amazing, classic.
I think she didn't think like it in the sense of like she was expecting like a normal horror. Like my problem, we're going to go on another thing. I'm going to quickly mention it, but
It's
I
okay,
don't want
okay,
to
yeah.
go on too long. But I hate when it comes to like people. I do want to watch more horror films. Like,
Yeah.
I do. Because I'm awful with horror films. I hate jump scares and stuff like that. But I do want to watch more like. I don't think Get Out's a horror in a way, but it's in I guess in a different context. It's a
Yeah,
horror.
yeah, it's got horror elements.
Yeah.
So
But
I know what you mean. But yeah,
what I was going
it's a
oh, go
dying
on.
breed. I think that those kind of horror films like The Shining, where it's like really focuses on like the torment and like the psychological aspect, but not like playing on the. I feel like that
Like,
is a dying breed because you get a lot of jump scare kind of horrors now.
cause it's like look, I say it like a jump scare can work, but
For sure.
just let other things like build up suspense where you go. Like it's funny that like Hereditary and Midsummer.
Hmm. I loved
I
Midsummer.
haven't I haven't seen those films yet, and I want to see Hereditary and everything.
They're both
I
good.
haven't seen those films, but what I've seen from it, the imagery, it does scare. Think about
Yeah,
this.
they're really good.
Think
I
about
like
this.
both of them actually.
Let's say that you go out to, oh, I'm gonna go out to the countryside and we're gonna have a bit of fun at this festival. It's a bit kooky, but whatever. And then it just gets progressively and darker and darker and
Yeah,
darker till out of nowhere you're the maiden son of God, and it's like, what happened?
it's
And
awesome.
that's scary. Like
Definitely.
imagine that you couldn't escape that like
It's like
situation.
one of my favorite. I loved, yeah, and Midsummer is just that, and it's terrifying. But
But you, quickly before you go on, but you'll get people in me. I'll get people on me Facebook. Oh, what a load of like crap! It's
yeah,
like, oh, it's just. Well, I'm gonna watch uh Unfriended and like, oh
Paranormal
my
Activity
god,
12 or something. Like
it's like even the first Paranormal Activity
it's
is boring.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not joking. There's a point in the film, and I don't. It is. It's click. There's a point in the film where they're talking with like I think one of the they were talking with someone, and
Mhm.
in the halfway through the cut, you just across the zone into the next shot, and you're like,
Just looks crazy, right? And it's like, yeah,
but
it's like what?
it's not like across of into another shot, like a different scene. It's across the zone in the same scene. So I'm assuming that there must have been an error, and they were like, oh, we didn't get a good take there. We can use another take and kind
Yeah,
of like
try and mash it
edit it.
together.
And it's like
Yeah,
you can clearly see it, and it's like, how did this get good film?
I know.
It's not good. Like literally, Paranormal Activity, the first one is not scary. Maybe the ending where she jump scares you. Other than that, it's like, oh, that's
I know.
Paranormal Activity. It's like
Yeah,
boring.
exactly.
Um,
So, Christian, I think that is about a wrap. Like I said, obviously we could talk films for literally forever, because it's good, it's great fun, I love it. But
I've got a word from my sponsor.
yeah, so we've got a couple of words from our sponsors. We've got Manscaped, MeUndies, and all the rest of it.
Squarespace.
Yeah, Squarespace as well. Code Savvy, hashtag Savvy for 10% off.
For 50% off.
There you go.
Safa mattresses.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed mine and Christian's chat. And yeah, Christian, you're welcome to kind of pop in any other time if you want to, come in and have a bit crack on any of the sessions. We go live quite a bit, and I'll email you now the video editing sessions with those resources because you can have a little crack on with that. But yeah, so thanks a lot, guys. I think that we are going to go now.
And we didn't cover any good news, unfortunately, but
yeah, we didn't get around any good news, but we had a good crack, and I think it was a good session. So I'm going to leave the advice lines on just for a couple of minutes, and then me and Christine are going to go, guys. So thanks a lot.
bye now.
See you later, guys.